If you enjoy traveling, experiencing different cultures, and would like to represent the United States abroad, then you might want to consider becoming a diplomat. Lauren looks into what a diplomat does and what it takes to become one.
Let's start with a quick American history question. Which was the first department to be included in the President's cabinet?
The Department of State.
Correct. While usually called the State Department, the official name is the United States Department of State. It was established all the way back in 1789. With headquarters in Washington, D.C., the State Department is headed by the Secretary of State. In fact, listen to how the State Department describes its mission. Advance freedom for the benefit of the American people and the international community by helping to build and sustain a more democratic, secure, and prosperous world. That's quite a task, and to help the State Department achieve those goals is the job of the U.S. Foreign Service.
And what we want to do is we want to promote America's interest, we want to promote peace, we want to promote understanding, we want to make sure people around the world know what America is all about.
Assistant Secretary Hammer explained that Foreign Service officers are also called diplomats. They're assigned to work at one of the more than 250 embassies, consulates, or diplomatic missions the U.S. maintains in foreign countries. What's the difference between an embassy, consulate, and a mission?
They all seem to do the same kinds of things, but an embassy usually is in the capital of that country. It's our main representation to a foreign country. Consulates are usually in smaller cities. With regards to missions, missions are more sort of delegations that we have to a particular international organization. For example, in Geneva, where there are a lot of UN agencies represented, we have what is called a mission.
What's the role of the ambassador?
As U.S. ambassador, that person is the representative of the country, is the highest ranking U.S. authority in the country that they are serving. So it really is quite an important job with tremendous responsibility.
Besides working with governments around the world, Foreign Service officers also help Americans traveling abroad.
And if something were to happen, if you get in trouble or something gets stolen and you lose your passport, then you go to the American Embassy and we have consular officers there who are prepared to help you.
It's not an easy job. Diplomats need to be able to work well with people from different cultures and backgrounds. You need to be able to handle the pressure of being in the public spotlight and comfortable dealing with questions from the news media. And most of all, you're expected to spend much of your career living in a foreign country. While you might get lucky enough to be posted in a place like Paris or London, you might just as well end up in a war zone. Assistant Secretary Mike Hammer has been showing us around the State Department, explaining the role of the U.S. Foreign Service.
You get to represent the United States and tell America's story. We have a great story. We're a great democracy. We stand for freedom. We are out there helping people. We're trying to make the world a better place.
If you think you might want to consider a career in the Foreign Service, visit the State Department's website. You can take a quick test that can help you decide if the job's right for you. Here's an example of some questions. The test asks you if you would enjoy being a representative of the U.S. government to businesses and governments worldwide.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. I mean, you get to visit all different places and represent the U.S. I mean, I can't think of a higher honor than that.
How about traveling frequently to foreign lands?
I definitely would. I actually love to travel and see new places, and I think that it would be a great time.
However, there are additional questions that show this career is not for everyone. For example, will you enjoy spending 2/3 of the next 20 years overseas?
No, I would honestly it would be difficult to not live, next to your home, next to your family, and everything else, but probably not.
Could you tolerate living in locations with very different or even harsh climates?
It would have to be for a short period of time. I don't think I'd be able to do it for many years.
After answering all the questions, you'll get a score that should give you a pretty good idea as to whether or not you're suited for the Foreign Service.
So if you're a smart person, if you're interested in world affairs, I would encourage you to take this test, and who knows, maybe the next thing you become is a diplomat, which is really quite fun.
It's been said that to be a good diplomat, you need to be able to divide a pie into different pieces and make everyone think that their piece is the biggest. In the briefing room at the U.S. State Department in Washington, D.C., for Teen Kids News, I'm Lauren.